and I know that you know, have gone around teaching other ministers and other churches and have shared that with them. How receiving are people of these new forms of, you know, that you're pulling this out of the dark? That's, you know, like you said, it's been hidden in plain sight. How are people receiving this now that you're sharing this information with them?
I would say 95% of them, when I teach pastors, when I teach, you know, laity, when I do conferences, are receptive. They're very receptive because I take it back to the Bible, then I go through Christian history, so I show how it's always been there. Most of them are very receptive, and most of the pastors, even though they don't grasp it, you know, completely because it's not really taught in seminary that much, they want me to come back and, you know, teach to the church in more in depth. So when explained to them the right way, people are very receptive.
Okay, now going back to the black community, how do you see this benefiting? Do you see this benefiting the black community in any way?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's a lot of problems, issues, you know, I mean, we can address, you know, those things, and we don't have to, you know, put them all out on the table, but there's, you know, families are broken, you know, education issues, health issues. How can this, you know, this spiritual meditation help with that?
Well, I think Christian meditation can be greatly beneficial for the black community, particularly you look at on morning worship, having a better perspective on how to approach any type of our, you know, social problems or problems that are particular to us as a community. I think what we really can benefit from is having a greater perspective, you know, a deeper perspective, and sometimes stepping back and not getting caught up just in the spirit or the emotion of worship, and stepping back and seeing how this all connects to what we do on Monday, you know, how Monday and Sunday connect. So I think first and foremost, giving us a greater perspective. Secondly, giving us a deeper understanding of Scripture. Definitely, you know, so we can apply it, you know, in deeper ways and in more profound ways.
So with this spiritual health, how does that help the overall body? You know, your overall health, your physical health. Does it help that as well?
Definitely. I mean, when you get into a steady diet of meditation, it will physically transform your body, because, you know, it's not even a spiritual belief. We know from scientific, you know, study and scientific evidence that thoughts impact you from a physical perspective. So your emotions, your mental state, your emotional state. So these are all things that meditation helps with. So, you know, the workshop that we just recently did, you know, on meditation and pain relief, you know, the whole process of meditating can get you to a point where you handle pain better, where you have better pain management skills, better stress management skills, which also help you with being not as susceptible to diseases. So there's a strong correlation between meditation and physical health. Right now, it's very popular for people to practice mindfulness meditation, and so there's a lot of studies behind mindfulness meditation. I don't do that so much. I really come out of the Christian paradigm, you know, different types of autogenics, you know, Christian meditation, mantra-based meditations is more what I focus on. But all of them have been shown to be beneficial.
Okay, now, one of the things that I've noticed is that with meditation, most of the people that you see are adults. What are your thoughts on families meditating together, or this being introduced to children? Is it something that shouldn't be introduced to your older, you know, because most depictions that you see are adults meditating.
Yeah, that's true.
So what are your thoughts about kids and family?
I think it would be a great tool for kids and family. I mean, I did a few months ago, I did a presentation at a school, and I took them through a basic meditation exercise, and they loved it. So I mean, they were fifth graders. Mm-hmm. They absolutely loved it. It was a group meditation. I think if it introduces them in the right way, I think it will be receptive to them, and I think it will improve their health, their physical health, their mental health. I think it will help better with dealing with conflict resolution, mm-hmm. and really stepping back before they get into some decisions that might be detrimental to them, you know, in various ways. Right, it can't come back from them, exactly.
Right.
So I think as a family, I know me and my wife, we sometimes we meditate together, and I think it really builds intimacy in the context of the family as well when it's done. And it doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be in depth. It can be very simple. You can have a powerful, productive, meditative practice and do it 5 minutes a day.
Now, when you're doing this meditative practice, you know, you see, once again, you go back to pictures and television and movies and those kinds of things. You know, you'll see people with, you know, a bunch of candles burning or incense burning and those kinds of things. Are those things necessary?
No, they're not necessary at all.
Okay.
They're not necessary at all. There's a big difference between Christian meditation and the types of meditation that are expressed and seen in different forms.
You got to excuse us, folks. We're in his office. Popular man. So.
All right. So yeah, most meditations that we see in America are highly biased towards kind of the Buddhist faith and the Hindu faiths. You know, out of the different types of yoga traditions, and out of different forms of Buddhism. So when you see depictions of that, and they're stereotypical depictions of that as well, but in Christian forms of meditation, the goal is to be present with the Lord. The goal is to be present. So it's not about blanking your mind out. It's not about sitting in a particular posture. It's not about lighting the incense. It's really about a time of just being still and allowing yourself to be more present and to be more available to God. And when you do that, you open yourself up to a different level of consciousness.